Hi, I'm Sarah Shoup, and I'm the founder of University Parent. And I'm excited today to interview Nancy and Nadine from Complete Candidate. Welcome.
Thank you. We're
Thank
excited
you.
to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you here. I think one of the big issues that parents face is really making sure that their students are able to find a job once they graduate. And I know that that is your area of expertise. So I'd love if you could tell us a little bit about yourselves and a little bit about Complete Candidate.
Sure.
Yeah, so Sarah, I'm Nancy Thomas, and I graduated back in 1987 with a Bachelor of Science in Psychology. And since then, since about 88, 89, my entire career has been around employment services. So, to include the interview process, hiring practices, and specifically, and most recently in the last 20 years, Nadine and I have been specifically matching people to opportunities, not just for companies that we worked for, but for employment service firms across the nation. So we've always been, and I've always been really in that matching and job universe.
Great.
And I'm a graduate of the Fashion Institute of Technology. I had an 18-year career with Federated Department Stores, and I ended up my last job was running a very big department store for Macy's and 300 salespeople, 24 managers, and really working on helping them build and develop and grow their own careers. So I had a lot of background in that. And then I went to a staffing company where I met Nancy, and we started working together. And after that, we started our own recruitment company, and now it's evolved into Complete Candidate.
Great, that's awesome. And can you tell us a little bit more about what made you start Complete Candidate?
Sure. I mean, it was kind of a natural progression, actually, because we had been, so well known in specifically in the New York metropolitan area for recruiting and recruitment services. When Nadine's oldest daughter graduated from Boston College, all of her friends started connecting with us and asking us, if we could help them. They knew that we knew recruiters. They knew that we knew what recruiters were looking for. And Nadine and I, looked at each other after about the 10th or 11th inquiry and said, there's a real need and a real void here. And so we took on a ton of these kids as case studies and really started writing down every little thing that they needed and everything that we were doing for them. And in the course, of these, maybe we got to like 30 or 40 case studies. All of a sudden, everyone had a job within 90 days. And we said, we must have the secret sauce. So we took all of those notes and all of those processes that we coached these candidates through, and we made a how-to guide, a book, a 100-page workbook that really is the centerpiece of Complete Candidate.
Great. Awesome. Well, thanks. So out of that, I'm curious, since you've seen so many students and helped so many students get jobs, what's the number one error you see most students make in their job search?
That's a great question, Sarah. And, Nancy and I have helped over 450 people at this time. And I think the biggest error is that people think it's just going to happen. They think they're going to come home with their diploma and it's going to be very easy to find a job. And they don't realize how much work is really involved and how much they really have to do. And also not packaging themselves appropriately. Like haven't even looked at a job description, and they'll do their resume just based upon, this is what I've done, but not even realizing that it doesn't match the job description that they're applying to at all. So there is a lot of work involved. There are a lot of strategies involved. And I think that people take for granted how easy it's going to be to find a job. And like we always say, finding a job is a job.
And I think this is a generation that's used to such immediate satisfaction. It's pay per click, and you can get anything in such a quick amount of time, that really to be thoughtful and understand that they're entering into a relationship, really. They're winning over a firm and getting that firm to invest in them and, buy into their career and their future. And so it is a lot of work. And I think that it's not just as easy as signing up for a class and, clicking that application button and they're like, okay, done.
Right.
There's a lot involved in front of it and behind.
Right.
Great. Thank you. Okay, and can you share a few things that graduating seniors can do right now to find a job?
Well, I think the first and foremost, they should sign up for Complete Candidate, because it's never too early to get started. And, you know, like Nancy was referring to our book is 100 pages. This is chock full of valuable information and valuable insight. And it's a how-to guide. We've left nothing out of it. So sign up for Complete Candidate. The other thing is to start as early as possible. Don't wait until you're in your cap and gown to start thinking about your job search. Start as early as you can, even if you're, you know, it's the fall of senior year. It's never too early to start marketing yourself and researching and even making your list of target companies. And then the third thing, which goes back to what I just said, make sure your packaging all matches. So make sure that your resume matches your LinkedIn, matches your cover letter. Like, make sure you're telling your same story and you're being consistent.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. All right. And so since we are a site to really help parents, what are some things that parents can do to be supportive during their students' job search?
Yeah, I think the first and foremost thing is to be supportive. So if your son or daughter is looking toward a career or area that might frighten you as a parent because you might think that there's not money involved in that, or there might not be career in that, you'd be very surprised as you investigate. Even the smallest niches, the most competitive, you know, arenas are achievable for any of these candidates, as long as they believe in themselves and they do have the support of their parents. You know, in addition, parents often have the richest referral network for their own, you know, child. They know people in industry, or they've, you know, met people across the country that have position. And so to open up that referral network and teach your child how to reach out, connect, introduce themselves, and start building their own.
And I'd also like to add that very early on, encourage your student to get involved on campus. You know, whether it's volunteering, tutoring, being a TA, being in Greek life, or the theater club, be involved in campus so you can start to build your resume.
Great.
We always encourage candidates, you know, even from their freshman year of college on, to walk the walk and talk the talk. You know, if you want to be a social media marketer, then you should be doing something and generating an Instagram or a Snap or advertising something. You should be working towards your goal, doing something all the time. And whether Nadine said that might be just as simple as getting involved in your university, and it might be, you know, as advanced as your own, you know, project and you know, piece of work. So I think just doing what you want to do, and start doing it now, because it's easier to find out what you love and what you don't love as you experience it.
Exactly.
Great. And which websites are your favorites for students to use for their job search?
So Nadine and I love LinkedIn because it has that connection. It affords the candidate the opportunity to build a network and reach out to people, also to stalk and investigate, if you will, who's in organizations, where did they go to school, what does their career look like, is this a fit for me? It's just such an intuitive site and an invaluable tool for a job search. There's also catch-all sites like, you know, Indeed, that catches kind of everything from the specialty sites that are real specific to industry. So if somebody wants to go into government or something philanthropic, there's idealist.org. If somebody wants to work for a sports organization or within the sport industry, there's Teamwork Online. There's a lot of those little niche sites that, you know, we know about, we can, you know, turn people toward, but Indeed's a good catch-all, and LinkedIn is an amazing place to start.
Right. And I love LinkedIn also because they let you know who the job poster is. So when it comes time to follow up on your application or to make contact with someone, you have that person right there on the LinkedIn. So it's very helpful.
Great. Okay. Thank you. So I know you mentioned earlier that you wish more students would get involved on campus sooner. Is there anything else that you recommend sophomores and juniors do so that they're more prepared their senior year for their job search?
Yes. And, you know, we've worked with sophomores and juniors, and it's so important that, early on you take your career, your future career seriously, and to start building your resume. And yes, what we talked about, getting involved on campus, but also internships. Internships are vital. They're vital for the student because the student can learn and understand what they don't want to do as much as they understand what they do want to do. So internships are very helpful at that time. And then anything else that they can do to build their resume, whether it's a capstone project or, we have worked with people that have had nothing to put on a resume, and we still help them. But, that's when the name is in a size 46 font. And so that's real. It's unfortunate when that happens, but we work very hard to try and uncover anything that we possibly can that would be valuable on a resume, and that someone would really be interested in, pursuing further as a candidate. And also to make sure that, you're showing, you're exploring your emotional intelligence and knowing, what is going on in the world and how to develop your own personal softer skills. I mean, all of that you should be thinking about as a freshman, a sophomore, a junior. Don't wait until, again, like I said before, don't wait until you're at graduation. And all those things could be worked on early.
We've even had instances where, students worked for their favorite professor and it's turned into like a 3-year research project. So just really reach out to the people you admire, reach out to things that interest you. And, Nadine and I have seen the benefit of experience firsthand because these, students understand not only what they love and what they're going toward, but also that the part and the nuances of that they don't necessarily care for within that realm. And so they're even more targeted at graduation because they know exactly the area they want to go into.
Great. And I'm curious to hear a little bit about, once you are working with a graduating senior or a recent graduate that hasn't been able to find a job yet, what surprises you, or, what might surprise parents about what the students are doing or haven't done yet that can make a really big impact?
I think that for Nancy and I think that the one thing that is so surprising to us is how easily people give up and how they get defeated so quickly. And finding a job is a job. We make no bones about it, and we don't try to minimize it. It's a lot of work to find a job, but if you invest the time and if you do the work, you're going to find a great career. And so I think that, people just, they don't realize how long it's going to take or how hard it will be. And then they start to lose confidence. And a lot of the work that we do is helping them build their confidence and being proud of who they are and what they've done so that they can articulate that in a cover letter and on an interview. So, and as it starts to get longer and longer in the process for them, their confidence starts to get lower and lower. And so it's a whole involved thing. It becomes
Snowball effect.
What?
I said a snowball effect.
Yes.
And a seemingly confident person that's confident in all areas of their life, or might be, a renowned athlete in their community, they might not be confident around this one aspect. And that's what, a lot of times it's an assumption that they're just going to be great. And they didn't prepare correctly, or they didn't know exactly what they were going to talk about with themselves, so they weren't organized in their thoughts. And they walk out of those interviews and they're like, I should have said this and I could have done that.
Right.
That's really what we're trying to prepare for, is that we're giving them that preparation, that consistency, that confidence that is going to set them apart, but also start to build internally. I mean, that's the best feedback we get, is when I say a kid, but they're young adults, turns to us and says, thank you so much. You guys gave me the confidence. I would not have been able to do this without you, because that means everything. They're going to move on in the world. They're not going to be stuck in the bonus room playing video games and, having their parents feel like they're, not living up to their potential, and having them feel like they're not, they're disappointing their parents. It's just a vicious cycle.
Exactly.
Definitely. Great. And on that note, can you share a story about a student that you have worked with and helped successfully find a job?
So I think what comes to mind for me, one of the biggest challenges we had was a really, really gifted individual. And she had completed an accelerated master's in teaching of special education program. and had graduated, at the top of her class, and was so shy, really, that she was having so much trouble presenting her own candidacy. And yet she was probably the most talented person. As a mother, it was somebody that I would want in the room with my child,
Mm-hmm.
And so, she was really struggling with her confidence, her ability to articulate her value. And what Nadine and I did was we taught her how to do it in the context of a lesson plan, to put her candidacy, her features, her benefits in the context of a lesson plan and present it that way, and give examples of times that she's helped kids and give examples of times that she's been creative. And it brought her right into her classroom and made her feel so confident that it worked for her, and she's gainfully employed and changing lives of kids every day.
Yep.
Awesome.
And I think
Very
it's,
cool.
we try to find those kind of nuances to help someone with what they're going to relate to. If someone's really shy or really has no confidence, we try to find where their comfort zone is. It's not the same for everyone. And so then we try to enhance that and work on that.
Great. That makes a ton of sense. So one of the things that I know varies wildly based on the campus, but many schools have career services offices. And I'm curious to hear, what kinds of things should students utilize on campus, or at least try to find out if they're available?
So many people don't utilize their career office, and they don't even know where it is. And I think that is such a big loss, because, the career office has things to offer. So the first thing someone should do is find out where the career office is and visit it every semester before you become a senior, and find out what companies the school is affiliated with that come to campus. Maybe you want to interview at one of them. Find out who has relationships in the career office with different companies that they can help you. I think that is really a big thing. There's websites that the career office has, like Handshake, where they post jobs automatically. And, people can look at that ahead of time and start to really drive their own process by using the resources that are available on campus. But they have to become aware and be involved.
Every campus has job fairs throughout, starting in January and throughout the spring, where different organizations are coming onto campus. And so to really be tuned in and know, when an organization is coming, and to do your homework. And there's even a section in our workbook that talks about how to behave at an event like that, when you're, one of many and want to be able to get the necessary information to move your candidacy forward.
Right.
And so really,
part.
yes.
Great. And tell us a little bit about the ideal profile of somebody that would benefit from working with you.
I really think it's someone who's stuck. Someone who has no idea where to begin, that it just seems so daunting. How am I going to start my job search? I don't even know where to start or what to do. Those are the people that we absolutely love to work with and get unstuck and help them to get to their careers as soon as possible. And I think that that's probably
the truth. I was going to say, the truth is there's not just one profile that fits. We've helped people across the country. We've helped, Harvard grads and Princeton grads and, community college graduates. And so across the gambit, even people that have taken the wrong job and been in the wrong job for a year or even 2 years have come to us and been able to redirect and get that perfect next step, so that they're happy and they're contributing and they're working toward their goal. So the answer is yes, that if they're stuck, but also, if you just feel like you need the help and the resources in any way to redirect or, to make sure that you're going to win that position, because that's what it is. It is winning. You're winning the job, and you only need one.
Right. And I also wanted to add to that. Nancy said we've helped people all over the country. We've helped people in every single industry: engineering, marketing, nursing, animal husbandry, finance, legal, every industry you can imagine. We have helped people find jobs in. So the program works for everyone, no matter where you are in this country and no matter where you are in terms of industry. This program works for everyone.
The good news is that it's a chronological kind of process-driven program, right? So you might have a great resume and you might have a really great network, but you're stuck and you keep interviewing and you're not getting the job. So you can go right to, brushing up on your interview preparation and interview skills. And, that's an area where we can concentrate. And all of a sudden, now you've got 6 or 7 options. So I think the program is agile in that it meets everybody exactly where they are today.
Absolutely. And at the same time, it's the most customized program that's out there. And it's customized, not customized, comprehensive. It's the most comprehensive program that's out there. And it's customized for the individual, but it is totally oh my goodness.
It's okay.
Totally comprehensive.
It's everything from start to finish.
Great. Great. And so if someone is interested in working with Complete Candidate, what's the best way for them to contact you to learn more?
They can go on our website, completecandidate.com, and then all of our contact info is on there, including our emails, and they can reach out and call us or email us, and we'd be happy to talk with them.
We're really accessible, Sarah, and that's true for our candidates as well. And it does interfere a lot into our personal time, but it's so easy to help somebody so quickly because we know this stuff cold. So if someone's stuck and it's outside of their realm of appointments and, they need help with a cover letter or a response, we're really accessible and we are so invested in every individual. And I think that's what speaks to our success is that not only is the program great, but, Nadine and I are going to make sure that you're going to be successful some way or another. There's always a solution and we'll figure it out.
And we'll figure it out. Absolutely.
Great. Well, thank you all so much for sharing these tips with students and parents today. I really appreciate the time. And if anyone's interested in learning more, we'll be publishing an article about these tips, and you can find it on University Parent in our career section. So thanks again, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.